Hello everyone, this is Mouse961 and here with a second episode for the Warp Drive mod tutorial. In this video we're going to be talking about the different types of hull blocks. We're also going to talk about the air drainers, which you can see inside there, and the spacesuit that comes with Warp Drive. So I'm just going to head over here to these blocks that I set up and shot that large laser into to see what kind of damage was done. Initially the stone blocks did not fare too well. It did a whole lot of damage. If we look at the obsidian, it only took 5 blocks of damage, which is much better than the stone, but I wouldn't say it's quite good enough to be making your ship out of. And also we have the basic hull, which took the same damage as obsidian. So again, I would say if you're going to combat, don't make it out of basic hull. But over here we have the advanced hull, and it has 1 block missing, but the 1 block right in the center behind the destroyed block has been deteriorated because in Warp Drive, as you damage a block, it goes from a higher tier down to a lower tier. This can be quite useful during combat in that you won't have holes instantly punched in your ship, but you'll have things deteriorated down slowly through combat. And lastly, we have the superior hull, which also had 1 block missing, but there's no extra damage around the edges. So now we're going to look at what types of blocks we have, and each of these blocks has the same hardness and blast resistance. And you can use them anywhere, just keep in mind that, like in this case, it does leave a large hole. So we have the basic hull, a slightly different textured basic hull, some glass, stairs, horizontal and vertical slabs that work just like Minecraft slabs, as do the stairs, and slightly different textured slabs. And this block over here is not quite what you would see in Minecraft originally, in that it is called an omni panel. And it does act like a glass pane from Minecraft when put next to each other or in corners, but if they're just out by themselves, like in this case or that case, they turn to very thin rods, which could be useful for some people that like to build. And if you have one that's just floating up in the air, it turns into this odd shape, but it does help you find it, because if it wasn't like this, it would just be a single dot about that size. And also, as you can see from this example, you can shoot through the objects even though technically this is still in its block. And that's important to note because, like this massive laser here, just because it is a solid block, you can still shoot through this spot right here. So I guess it's not really a solid block, it'd be closer to transparent. And another building block from Warp Drive is these things here. They're called energy air shields, and you can pass through them freely, although gases and liquids cannot. But because you can, much like the Omni panels, bullets and lasers can also pass through them, which is also important to note, because as you're building your ship, you may want to put a wall, such as right here, right in front of them, so that way a laser or firearm projectile cannot go through it. Next up is going to be the spacesuit from Warp Drive. It's actually going to be called the Warp Chestplate, Helmet, Leggings, and Boots. What's neat about these is that they have a built-in system that can actually convert energy and ice into air, as long as you have an air canister with you. I started this video out, I'm pretty sure this bar was red when I started, but what happens is it slowly draws power and takes in 1 ice to refill the air canisters, and you can have 4 different types of air canisters. There's the basic air canister, there's the basic air tank, advanced air tank, and superior air tank. And much like the standard Warp Drive naming convention, basic, advanced, and superior go from lowest to highest. Try to keep things simple, that way you always know what you have and don't have to look in the recipe to see what tier it is. Also to note, when crafting the tanks, you must use a brand new air canister, meaning this thing right here. Because if you look at the recipe for this, it has 2 empty air canisters, but as soon as you put air into it, even if you completely drain the air out, the air canister will have a damage value, and at that point you cannot use it for crafting. And over here you can see I have a battery and some ice. The batteries that can be used for this are the IC2 batteries, like the one you see here, or the higher tiers, flux capacitors or energy cells from RF mods, and a capacitor bank from Ender.io. All these just have to be in your inventory, such as right here or anywhere in here really, and Warp Drive will automatically pull power from it. The next thing we're going to look at is the 3 types of air generators that are in the Warp Drive mod. We have the basic air generator, the advanced air generator, and the superior air generator, each of them having a different range that they are effective to. And I'm just going to put power into all 3 of these. And as you can see, the air comes out of right where the fan is. Because of this, you can never put anything right in front of the fan. And if you do, there's a chance that whatever you put in front of it will actually be broken. And that is, I guess, best case scenario. Worst case scenario, you just don't get any air coming out of it and you suffocate and die. So as you can see, it's filling up the room pretty quickly. If I only had 2 of the basic air generators, I would have one on this side of the room and one on the far side of the room. Because the way they work, it's much more efficient to have them at opposite ends of the room instead of both of them right next to each other right in the center. It just helps with the calculations and it just ends up going faster. Also, if you hover over them and look at the tooltip on top, you can see that each of them holds power. And if I were to break one of these, you can still keep looking at the power that's on top and see that it goes through power fairly slowly, which means that in the event that for some reason your base does lose power, you wouldn't immediately see anything wrong with it. And in turn, you also wouldn't run out of air instantly. And lastly, I'm actually going to come out here and see, yep, there it is. Whenever you have an air leak in your base, you will see these little blue puffs coming out of wherever the air leak is, which is helpful because there can be times that you don't know where your air is leaking out of. And also keep in mind that objects like the glass fiber cables I'm staring at, or the Omni panels out there, or even stairs and slabs, the air will go right through them, and it'll be considered an air leak, and you'll be losing pressure in your ship. And that is only true so long as it's not in front of the fan, because you never want to put anything in front of this spinning fan. One last note is that the Warp Drive mod does have a 4th air generator in it. It has fans on all sides, and that is currently an older version of the air generator and is expected to be removed within the next few versions. That is all we're going to be covering in today's episode. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Also, in the description, you can find a link to the Discord where you can talk to people that know about the mod, such as the mod creator, and also talk to people that play the World War Minecraft pack, where this is the primary mod. Thanks for watching. I hope you have a great day.